guys, if you've been watching StarCraft for like like Grant and I have for 10 years now, you'll remember Vortex and you'll be like, wait, wasn't he the awesome kid who like with his brother Lucifron tore through a bunch of brackets in 2011 through like 2014?
Yep.
Yes. And if you follow Warcraft 3, you're like, wait a minute, the same Vortex who just placed top 4 in the DreamHack Fall Warcraft 3 tournament? Yes. That Vortex almost qualified to ESL in 2 different events. I know, Grant, you and I casted one of his games. We were joking about an esports pentathlon.
We did.
With some of these players.
I think we ended up on decathlon.
Yeah, because there were too many good games. We didn't want to leave out like Tetris 99 or anything.
I love Tetris 99, but it's too quick and there's too many flashing lights and it makes me feel a bit sick. That's how you can tell you're old, right?
Of drones where Stephano mixing in a few safety banelings, meaning SouLeer's going to be ahead economically, but only slightly.
Yeah, SouLeer has a couple more lings, but I mean, even still, where it's such similarities in the game, it's now going to come down to who can transition best, unless there's any major screw-ups with Ling Bane control here. SouLeer is sitting back relatively well. Stephano is going to catch an Overlord, which will supply block his opponent. That's a nice pick-off. That slows him down, forces out that extra 100 minerals. Even things like the Lair now, you can see 10 seconds later in a complete mirror matchup here. So SouLeer only with the 4 drones on his third. Stephano only with a couple, but I think he's got a few more that will be popping soon. He's making a big round of drones right now. Roach Warren's going down for both as well. And even now, nearly 5 minutes into the game, Creighton, mirror.
You know, Grant, I love how intricate CVC is. These players are trying to get the tightest reads on their opponent, trying to get the most scouting information they can. As we said, SouLeer's +1 a couple seconds ahead, but his Roach Warren a couple seconds behind. So there could be this really weird situation in which Stephano attacks with an upgrade disadvantage, but more Roaches, and SouLeer is able to defend a little bit better. But of course, all of it at the end of the day comes down to positioning, comes down to army control, and if these Banelings can get all these Roaches, so SouLeer is actually going to do something different. Both Latin American players committed to their Spire play and hope their Mutalisk would help them defend. SouLeer realizing that might not actually happen and investing more into these Roaches. And again, we see +1 finished up for SouLeer, but Stephano wisely going to wait until his own +1 is finished. His speed way ahead, his Roach count way superior. Unless SouLeer can pull out some sort of miracle concave here with a great defense, things are looking so much better for Stephano right now, especially with those 2 Ravagers.
Yeah, Ravager's going to offer a lot of DPS here if the BIOS can connect, and the first one and second one does. But the main thing right now is Roach speed. He's going to be able to reinforce, not that much slower than his opponent, considering the defensive advantage here from being at the side of the map for SouLeer. Stephano moving in so decisively, takes an incredible fight, and the supplies right now 90 to 44 in army supply. Stephano charges forward, looking to end the game. He's able to take down a lot of Roaches and be able to get the Queen as well, stop those injects. And I think, unfortunately for SouLeer, the Frenchman just too strong in this game.
Surprising MVP upgrade right now has been Roach speed. We said at the beginning of the game, Grant, these upgrades just have a couple seconds difference between them. So if one player is able to find that very narrow timing window, GG, there it is. Stephano.
And his opponent in the top left, representing Gamers Origin and France, he is one of the greatest players to ever touch the game, a multiple-time Premier champion, the Blue Zerg player, Stephano. So, this game, it is going to be hatch first all around once again to get things started with some macro based play. Stephano, he has been known to throw in some aggression, some early all-ins. I don't think he's like a 12 pull with drones kind of guy like you'll see Raynor do from time to time, who's a very aggressive ZVZ player. Stephano, sure. I think he looks for mid-game timings, I would say, specifically with Roaches, and sometimes I see him play a bit of Spire, but I think he's a Roach guy. Hatch gas pool here for both players, and I mean, just look at that production tab. Couldn't be any more identical if it tried.
You're absolutely correct, though, and that's SouLeer, I think, prioritizing getting in the gas later so he gets his Baneling nest down just a little bit sooner. Quick update for you, Grant. Chat is letting us know that apparently Stephano is working full-time now as a web developer, not studying anymore. So good on him.
Yeah.
Man, it's so cool to see StarCraft as a very mature esport where the players have achieved such a high degree of technical perspicacity that they can work full-time and manage to play this game at the highest level. It's so impressive to see these guys who are counting on skills they have from before and continuing to develop those StarCraft skills today. So like we said, sorry, SouLeer investing just a little bit more, leaving one of those drones off of gas so we could eke out his Baneling Nest a little bit sooner, but I think that's just going to be defensive. I really don't see SouLeer moving across with just Ling Bane. If he does, Grant, I'd be really surprised.
One thing I will say is 2 games in a row now, SouLeer has sacked an Overlord, not on purpose. One of his early Overlords has gone down. Stephano not making that mistake. He keeps his Overlords just a little bit further back and is able to keep them alive a little bit longer. SouLeer not moving out with his Queens, maybe. It sounds so minor, but in these mirror matchups where everything, as we said, has been down to milliseconds, that extra 100 minerals is a difference and does come into play here. Stephano now running in with a couple of Banelings. He's going to be able to get into the mineral line. This is so many low workers. We see 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 go down immediately. Oh, this is really, really bad start here for SouLeer.
Yeah, great. That's exactly what Stephano wanted to happen, right? You send 2 Banelings in. Ideally, well, not quite exactly. Ideally, both of them go off. Remember, it takes 2 Baneling shots to kill a drone until the Banelings have that +2 melee attack upgrade. So you want to send both Banelings in, explode them on the drone line, and whatever they get, they get. But of course, having a couple extra Lings behind that for Stephano allows him to clean up all the drones that are almost dead. And 6 kills, again, can't be overstated, Grant. That's more than 10% of his workforce right now. And his economy is going to plummet just a little bit as it's going to force him to crank out more drones at the expense of not making the roaches that I think he was hoping to build right now. Stephano going for Carapace instead of +1 missile attack this game, indicating that he might stay on a bit more of a hybrid style, cranking out more Lings than you might otherwise expect.
Yeah, I think Stephano's going to be very, very aggressive very soon. There's no lair for Stephano. He hasn't started it yet. He's making just units right now and a lot of Overlords so we can really build that supply up. We're going to see a lot more workers go down here, Creighton. Okay, only 3 to start things off. Stephano being very careful with his units. Doesn't want to throw any away unnecessarily, but another great scout. And a Baneling coming in and just a run by here. 8, 9 workers now going down, and this is just getting worse and worse here for SouLeer. Now Stephano is making tons of roaches, 40 supply to 10 in terms of army, and SouLeer needs a miracle.
You know, Grant, I feel like at this point I need to call my Italian friend Luca, who's going to come in and tell us to de-supply. 48 to 18 right now. I mean, Stephano, just everything going right for him, everything going wrong for SouLeer. Grant, if you look back on this game, if you were watching the replay, can you pinpoint 1 or 2 things that really, really sealed the deal here for Stephano? 2 mistakes that SouLeer made, maybe?
But it's the Banelings getting in initially, I think, is the one major one. 6 workers that have to be replaced. Just meant he didn't have extra Lings and Banes to defend against the follow-up push, which was then another good chunk of his workers. We've seen 15 go down, which is just, it's so much time, it's so much money to replace all of these. We're talking, what, 750 minerals plus the lava, and now Stephano moving in. He didn't get his lair, so there is no roach speed or anything, but he is just able, with pure numbers, to overwhelm his opponent. And unfortunately for SouLeer, a rough start to the tournament. Still, this is one of the toughest matchups in this group. There's a lot of hope left, but GG, Stephano.